and scientific experts. You know, you're not only putting your own life, the lives of your family at risk, you're endangering the community, and you're making it more difficult for us to get on and protect the NHS and save lives. And if you comply, if people comply, as I say, then we will not only save lives, thousands of lives, but we'll come out of this thing all the faster. Tom Newton-Dunn, The Sun.
Thank you, Prime Minister. By closing pubs, restaurants, clubs, etc., is there not a considerable risk that what you'll therefore do immediately is push maybe many young people into their own homes? They'll just have big parties. You're not going to ban parties, or are you? And what is your advice to young people not to gather in groups of 100 and drink the same amount behind closed doors? And the Chancellor, if you don't mind me asking, the one element of society fears you missed out with all this is charities, the voluntary sector. Though you're covering their wages, charity income is down 40% since the start of this in only a couple of weeks. They've asked you for a bailout as well. Will you now consider that?
Tom, thank you. So in terms of support for the charity sector, the significant business rates relief schemes that we operated in the last week or two will certainly benefit them, which will have direct cash flow benefit to them, and they are covered by today's intervention, which I would underscore is significant. In terms of more support for voluntary and community groups, that's something that I'm actively talking to the Secretary of State for Communities for. And especially as we try and look after the most vulnerable in our communities, it may well be that we should increase funding for local voluntary community groups to help with that, and that's something that we're actively looking at. But just to underline more broadly, the scheme that I've outlined today is unprecedented in scope and scale for a British government, and it is an enormous commitment by us to British jobs and British workers. This is going to be difficult, but we are with you through this, and we are doing absolutely everything we can to support your jobs and to support your incomes through this time. Yeah, and Tom, on your point about young people, obviously we can't forbid every form of socialising between human beings. Of course we're not doing that, but on the other hand, what we are saying is that the risk is, not just for young people, the risk is that they will become vectors of the disease for older relatives with potentially fatal consequences. And we ask people to think about that. And that's why we're taking the steps that we're taking, the decisive steps we're taking in respect of places that actually invite people to socialise. That's why we've issued the very strong advice that we have. And I really hope everybody takes it. I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap up now because we've got more things to go and weigh and do. But two important things that I hope you'll take away from today, two important bits of news. Yes, we are telling pubs, bars, restaurants, clubs to close, gyms, leisure centres. We're telling them to close. And it's a huge wrench to do that. Everybody understands that. It's a huge wrench, and it's heartbreaking to think of the businesses that will face difficulties as a result of the measures this country has had to take. But that is why we are also simultaneously announcing a quite exceptional package of support, and not just for businesses, but for individual workers. And our message to business is that we will stand behind you, and we hope that you will stand behind your workers. And to the country, this time it is different. We all remember what happened in 2008. This time we want to make sure, as we heal the economic damage that this is causing, that we put the people first. Thanks all very much.